entertainment, showbiz, if you please, has become the 6th estate, just as Hawaii became the 50th state. Nowhere is there better proof of this than right here tonight, where so many representatives of the arts, writers, directors, producers, singers, actors, musicians, dancers, technicians, and Joey Bishop have come from so many parts of the country to express their happy involvement and solidarity as Democrats and Americans. But enough of this harmless braggadocio, and on to the program.
For the awful things he ate. H is for the whooping cheers we give him. N is for the know-how he has loads of. F is for the phenomena, which he is. I is for Eisenhower, the previous tenant. T is for Tormain, which we hope nobody gets at political banquets. Z is for Secretary of Health, Mr. Abe Rubikoff. G is for Jacqueline, the beautiful First Lady.
Vested a tremblingly large proportion of the interests of the world. We see him entering these Olympian lists at a moment which must be as thickly crowded with hazards as any yet known to the history of civilization. May I say that we appreciate, small word for such vast quantity, the limitless wealth of energy, ingenuity, courage, and understanding that he will need to exercise.
I understand, loveless when I'm in, under the old black magic called love. I understand, loveless when I'm in, under the old black magic called love. I should stay away, but what can I do? I hear your name, and I'm afraid. Rain the time. That only your coolness again. Put on it for me. The last count at the Metropolitan was Kennedy 3, Nixon 8, and Mussolini 842. Of course, that was the Rigoletto Company.
Well, I don't know about the rest of you, but I vote that Miss Proud will sing. All those in favor, say aye. The ayes have it.
There are many singers who think they're the greatest. It begins with Maria Callas and ends with me. But in the world of popular music, there is no contest. The Aidas, the Toscas, the Brunhildes, Mac the Knife herself, Miss Ella Fitzgerald. They're writing songs of love, but not for me. A lucky stars above, but not for me. Would love to lead the way
know, with the little boy in the White House now, this little child that we've grown to love, I know that when he will cry during the night, we won't have this problem, of course, that the new occupants will have, because right away they'll call up the Secretary of Health and Welfare, and then he will call up the Secretary of the Interior, you know. You and I, we're just like a couple of tots running across the meadow, picking up all those forget-me-nots. You make me feel so young. You make me feel there were songs to be sung, lots of bells to be rung, and a wonderful fling to be flung. And even when I'm old and gray, I'm gonna feel the way I do today, 'cause you make me feel so young.
Well, lady, nonetheless, Miss Ethel Merman.
I had a dream about you, baby. It's gonna come true, baby. They think that we're through, but baby.
Wheels are yellow, the upholstery's brown, the dashboard's genuine leather. With ice and glass curtains you can roll right down in case there's a change in the weather. Two bright side lights a winking and a blinking. Ain't no finer rig, I'm thinking. You can keep your rig if you're thinking that I care to swap for that shiny little Surrey with the fringe on the top. Days grow short when you reach September, when the autumn weather turns the leaves to flame. One hasn't got time for the waiting game.
He drove so hard, he broke so hard, when he laid down his hammer and he died, Lord God, laid down his hammer and he died. He laid down his hammer and he died, great God, he laid down his hammer and he died. Now Sir Henry had a little woman, and the name of Polly Ann. She walked down the track, never looked back. Polly Ann drove steel like a man, Lord God, Polly Ann drove steel like a man. Polly Ann drove steel like a man, yes she did, Polly Ann drove steel like a man. Well, the people took Sir Henry to the White House, and they buried him in the sand. Every locomotive come roaring by, says, they allow steel driving man, Lord God, just they allow the steel driving man.
Lots of courses, lots of horses, who wouldn't run?
Things look tough, believe it or not.
And then the people had their day in court, and Jack went to High Anna's Port.
Huntley Brinkley, Huntley Brinkley, one is glum,
The other is quite twinkly.
they told every rooter, we'll know real soon with our computer.
Like Jack with the arrowhead, the new computer says in every town.
But in some cities where our Jack was strong, it seemed like Mr. Nixon tagged along. but no, he couldn't take it from our man. Not states like good old Illinois, they surely had to back up.
The inauguration of a president is an exciting yet sobering event. It has a special meaning for most of us, I'm sure. I know that it has for me, and also for our friends in the Republican Party. This is not a moment of triumph for the Democrats. What it means to ascend to the presidency of the United States of America was best expressed 100 years ago by a Republican. On February 11th, in 1961, Abraham Lincoln left his home and his old friends in Springfield, Illinois, to take the train to Washington for his inaugural. He stood for a while on the observation platform at the end of the train, looking in silence at the people he had known so well, and spoke to them out of the fullness of his heart.
My dear friends, no one, not in my situation, can appreciate my feeling of sadness at this parting.
President-elect of the United States, Mr. John Fitzgerald Kennedy.
I first of all want to say that I'm proud to be a Democrat tonight because all of you are here. There's an old saying that only in winter can you tell which trees are evergreen. Only when the winds of adversity blow can you tell which individual, which party, which country has qualities of character and steadfastness. And the fact that there was, in the worst storm of the year, hardly an empty seat in this great hall shows what kind of a party we're members of.
And secondly, I'm proud to be a member of a party which owes $4 million. Any party can balance its books, but to spend $4 million more than you've got in a close election is the kind of democratic tradition with which I wish to be associated. We'll never be out of debt. We'll be paying this debt off at the convention in 1964. But I must say that Matt McCluskey, who owes it all, we're going to give him that honor all to himself. I did not get a bit disturbed until one day I saw a one-way ticket to Mexico dated November 9th, and I knew we had to win. Lastly, I'm proud to be a Democrat because since the time of Thomas Jefferson, the Democratic Party has been identified with the pursuit of excellence, and we saw excellence tonight. The happy relationship between the arts and politics, which has characterized our long history, I think reached culmination tonight. I know we're all indebted to a great friend, Frank Sinatra. Long before he could sing, he used to poll a Democratic precinct back in New Jersey. That precinct has grown to cover a country. But long after he has ceased to sing, he's going to be standing up and speaking for the Democratic Party, and I thank him on behalf of all of you tonight. You cannot imagine the work that he has done to make this show a success. Tonight, there are 2 shows on Broadway that are closed down because the members of the cast are here. And I want he and my sister Pat's husband, Peter Lawford, to know that we're all indebted to them and we're proud to have them with us. My brother-in-law has been a citizen for less than a year, but he has learned of one of the great delights of citizenship, which is paying off a party debt. While we're all Democrats, we're all Americans. Today, it's now nearly 1:30, and it's Inaugural Day. And I'm sure that everyone here will join Lyndon Johnson and myself at 12 o'clock today in committing us all to the defense of the Constitution of the United States.